Hi guys, but I'm doing so much work right now that like just even doing a Mandalorian itself is like a lot. But I was like right now probably a good idea to do it. So I was like, let's read. Well, I guess it's part 2 of the commentary of the making 3 months later. We're still doing this. That's the whole point. But recently I've been doing a lot of more those type of parts of work. That's why it's been a lot. And that's why I'm doing that a lot. I'm trying to focus on my mental health a lot. That's why my uploads have been kind of sporadically. And there was a moment where I was uploading a lot. But that was because I was like editing like 5 or 6 different things. So I'm gonna just like watch it, pause it, watch it, pause it, watch it, watch it, pause it, watch it, and just comment on those aspects, you know? But I am not, clarification, not a medical professional, not diagnosed, just no things. No things is not really the right word, but you know, just like as a viewer watching it, commenting on it. But you know, just take what I say as a grain of salt, whatever that means, because autism is kind of hard. But whatever that means, just take it. Okay, let's watch from the middle version. Let's do this.
On the table with us, find someone who can represent us.
Yeah, I wanna comment on that. Like, I'm not Arab, of course, but I am half Japanese and half American. So like, see anything that's like accurate like in Japanese culture like that on like film and stuff is so cool. So I understand from that perspective, other than the part stuff of like wanting to have like actual good representation, because it's not just like, oh, it's just fancy Japanese stuff. It's like no actual culture and like actual stuff there. So that's pretty cool in that aspect. That's why I like Moon Knight. It's not just about DID. This thing is about all this other stuff. You know, it's about Egyptian mythology. It is about trauma too, but it's about all these like other things surrounding it. That's why I really like it.
She was
Muhammad went for actors silly doing it, or you know, whatever.
Acting is about not being embarrassed.
This character,
but it's okay to be embarrassed.
cry or feel sad,
Exactly.
and it was.
So that's why I like this version. For me, like characters, my favorite type of woman character is like a woman that's independent but also has a romantic interest. Like this with this, because they're not like, so if you're a woman, like you can't have emotions. It's like what? Like, of course, because hormone stuff, like women are gonna have more emotion. It's just like a fact. It's not something bad or good. It's just our gender, like, you know, like biological biology. You know, like you have different hormones and stuff, so you're gonna have more emotions, and there's nothing wrong with having emotions. The way to express them, because you can be strong and independent and also have emotions. That's why I do like later here where sometimes she does crack her voice, but she's also strong. She's this, but she's also this, and she's like, and it's cool. That's cool. Screenshot. I watched Moon Knight so many times after the previous time we did like the part 1 to this, that I had like so many, oh wait, what is this connection, like after connection. So I'll be so excited when I actually do comment on that. But this is a cool shot, crane shot. Two of them side by side, Layla and Hero. Like, because you know, from even the part 1, like Hero in itself, a villain or I don't know what to really classify him as, but you know, he's like calm and he's like throwing out like answers. Like be like, yeah. Like basically like the line when he's like, oh, I didn't say it. It's like, but you implied it. But it's like this manipulation, and it's like trying to divide them. But he's doing it calmly, and it's like Chancellor Palpatine too. Those kind of like people, villains are like, which I think I said that like those other people are more like, what? You know, they're like more real. I forgot about this. I haven't watched this yet. But I did see like a few clips or photos on like Tumblr, Instagram of the Blu-ray one, but I have not seen it. But I'm excited for this. I did do unboxing on May 4th. It's
very big day for us. Extras with
hungry, but if it's hungry, let's go. A little title cards, because there's so many moments like that in Japanese. So it's like that's not what. So yeah, that's probably so cool for them to do that. Dude, it's about museums are so cool. Oh, I went to like a lot of different types of museums. I guess like the most like, what's it called, like stand out is like a cup of ramen. So it's like ramen. So process. In Japan, it's like the ramen, how they, like how the person made it and stuff. There's actually a TV show, a Japanese TV show of the person, like based off the person making ramen, too. Ooh. Hey, no, third one there's conscious venture. Plus, like, but like with mirror stuff, like it is like the like doing that is so cool. Also with the camera stuff, it's like the hardest trick ever to do any type of mirror reflection. The more reflection there is, the harder it is to do stuff. Like even in Star Wars with 3PO, they had to like do so much to like when they got the film to put paint on it and stuff on the video itself, because the camera reflection, the reflection, you can see the lights on it, so reflection is like the hardest thing ever. Not like ever, but it's really hard to do that in the film. But I do like how they did that and to like express that co-consciousness or confronting in with the mirror. Because obviously it's not how real life stuff is, but like it's kind of hard to just do it without it, or like I don't know how you will do it to just do it, you know? I guess you could like talk and like, you know, be like harder, so like that made it so like it's easy to just continually do it, you know? So I like that. Lovely scenes and green screen. So sets up are so cool. Like, I will just be on like any type of set, but I also like sets where it's only like green screen, blue screen, because I love acting, I love imagination, so like I like those type of things, you know? But I also like when there are sets and stuff. That is true though, because I feel like sometimes you get overly like what is it, representative, but it's not accurate. Like you have so many like Egyptian like lingering stuff with like different mediums so much, but it's not really like accurate per se. Like it's like so, I don't know how to describe it. It's like Japan sometimes have it. It's like so like it's everywhere, but not too much representation. But it's not like it's too much, like too much non-accurate or not really like it's just surface level, I guess, if that makes any sense. But here is like you're getting into the nitty-gritty and you're actually getting into a lot of the culture of it. Ooh. The meeting of the NES. I love miniatures too, man. That's so cool. Like, oh, everything's filmed in the forest. I mean, that does not remind you of the Jedi Council. Ooh, have this type of angle. But the charges, cause I think we're looking at the long lost too. That reminds me like the onsen, bro. Ooh, true. Probably been really good. Especially when you knew like what was gonna be used for later. But always, that's true. We're passionate about true.
There's like,
True.
I want to do that.
If you have one person that's really passionate, and that brings the other person to be more passionate, and it's like, that's why series or any type of movies where the people who are doing it love the show, love the thing that they're doing, it turns out to be better than where they're just corporate, just doing it to just do it to make money, to just be not, what is it called, safe in doing it. Like if you do this type of formula, you're gonna get successful, as in you're gonna get this type of money, blah blah blah. But it's just gonna be a movie. That's why we need more people like, you know, but George Lucas did in 1977, where like people were like, oh, there's no one that watch this, but he revolutionized the industry. That's what more people need to do, is take those huge risks. And yes, you may fail so hard, but if you do, then it will change, you know, other people do more things and blah blah blah, etc.
Amazing Egyptian mythology.
And Star Wars, it's pretty cool. So we're just not gonna get 100% strictly accurate, just like with the end. And the shopping body, no doubt. Pretty cool. Hi!
This is so it is.
Purposes like she's like, so it is like animation. A lot of like even just like animation itself. A lot of the characters are. That's why in animation, a lot of time they're filming like the person doing the voice acting a lot of times, so they can like shape around like if the person like saying something or they're moving their arm, and they try to take that into the animation, because if a real life like actor was doing it, like saying something, they're moving their body in a certain way, most likely that character will probably do the same thing. Kill natives, right? Natives. Oh, the green thing. Oh yeah, like the green thing. I saw like the first time those thing and like the Attack of the Clones is like basically that's where the eye level is of any CGI type characters. So look there and not. No, you look there, because that's where the eye level is. Nevertheless, look right there. Don't look. Yes.
The metaphor embodiment is Rage at himself. That
It
literal
is true.
side
It's
of
like
conscience.
it's a metaphor. And that is the kid just attack that whole thing right. That's the lot. Cause the whole thing is just. Okay, I'm gonna break that down. Cause that is just a lot. country in itself. Because even in the comments, I haven't read all the comments. Which comments have I read? That was too real. That was too real. Okay, this is the one I read like a while ago. I haven't reread it yet. But this is because I did reference this cover in the behind the scenes, and they took a lot of this. This was really trippy, but this was really good. But that's too, like, country in itself is a metaphor of, we've seen it in like episode 5 where Marc was saying, confessing that like, hey, he feels like in the series, he's like, well, everyone tells me I'm this, so I'm just gonna embrace it, like, you know, like embrace the chaos, like what Harold says in all those commercial things, but it's like kind of cut off. It's not in the series, but it's in there. Because like trauma and stuff, like you don't have to have DID to have a trauma. Like you can have a lot of trauma without having DID or OSDD, dissociative disorders in general. You can have a lot of trauma and not have those. Like having, and you can also be an adult and have trauma and stuff. There's no age limit of, it's just with DID in parts. Those are when you're younger and stuff, because like development, I can't pronounce the development of your brain and stuff. It is so much emotions trying to like get vulnerable to impact different things, like, because it's just natural human emotion to like feel about one topic different things. But the whole point of the DID or OSD, those parts thing, is that one thing, say in here, is the mother. You're supposed to have like attachment to the mother, but also the mother is abusing you. So it's like this simultaneously different emotion towards one thing. And sometimes when that happens, the child brain is like, this cannot happen. So it just gets segmented. So instead of all those collective feelings coming together, growing up, and now becoming like a collective personality, it's all not together. So everyone, you can say technically, quote, has parts. Everyone does have parts before like a certain age. Everyone's different. They say it's like 6 or 9, that's when it all comes together, like an inside out, and the end when all the emotions are together. But obviously like every child is gonna be different, so it's not like we don't know 100% sure. It is like the emotions of like, you want love from your mother, but like also your mother this, but also in this case, like it's not like she was always this way. So it's like you have a case where like something happened and he kind of blames himself, or not kind of, but he does. But it's also like when he was a child, so it's like of course he's not gonna have the concept of like going into the rain and like the cave. Like he's not gonna have a concept of that. So it's, of course it's not his fault, but it's like that layer of like, that's why even in episode 5, but he did, because I did see a post on Tumblr where it's like, why did he go to the funeral? If he, you know, why did he go there, right? He obviously went there to try to find something, because, you know, it's like this, all this emotion. It's like, oh, it's like, you feel this, but you also feel this, but you also want this, but you also feel this, and you feel that, and it's like, oh, it's just like a pile of like big soup going on, you know, that like rage stuff. If you do more trauma work, it comes up, because a lot of times that what like the people that did things to you are the, they most likely use rage. So that's why you or us or we, me, whatever, whoever's watching this, like rage in itself, any emotion in itself is okay. It's just how you use it. Like feeling angry is a fine emotion, but if you always see anger as only seen as a negative thing, like, and it's gonna be harder to express those things. So you're gonna have just so much like moments, and it's like the quote, like, I feel that he deserved it some way. It's like that does happen, not like it's like, oh, I did, but it's like sometimes it does happen when, if that's like your constant, if you're constantly like human wise always getting like, say, emotionally hurt or physically like, even though you could maybe deep down know that you don't deserve it, like it's like a pattern. It's like, if that's just what's happening, that's like the thing that's happening. It's like if someone said they love you but they keep hurting you, Take the way you will. Maybe I add it later, you know. Slave to it. An addiction to it. I'm like, bro. Especially if they're like, especially if they're like parts work stuff. There could be parts where like, there's like not really any attachment to the trauma at all. So they'd be perfectly fine. And some parts are like so into it, and then like that's like what they remember, that's their emotion, that's their what they remember. It's like you yourself or me can have like this whole shift of feeling different things. So it feels like a big mood swing, but it's actually not, I guess. Not I guess, but it's not. But so it's like you can have like I have that simultaneously where like sometimes I feel perfectly fine and sometimes I don't, because depending on what part of the consciousness, because it is all part of the consciousness, you know, every part, even like DID says like this part of the consciousness and this part. That's why in the first few episodes like Marc can do a lot of the fighting, but Steven can't, but later they can because they integrate more, not fuse, but integrate more. So when you integrate more, you can do those things more. You can have a couple of different emotional dialogue, feeling inside. It's like switching off and on like channels, but sometimes you don't know that channel is on, and that if that channel is on, then it comes with like all this stuff. It's like a big mood ring. Like this part of the consciousness is this. That's why everyone like there's studies, even studies actually, where like different parts can do more of this, so they can do more of that. Like for me, I have like sometimes where I have way more allergies of like what is it called, pollen, and some others I'm perfectly fine. Or sometimes I exercise a lot, but sometimes I literally cannot, depending on who is, because they work different parts of the consciousness, and depending on what year or what age even that part is, because it doesn't have to correlate specifically. Because they could be parts where they're like really young, but they've been there for like way longer than a part that's older. It's like, but it's all a protective thing. It's all symbolized. That's why like one of the interview they did, it was like Ethan Hawke was talking about like how they like explain that it's all symbols. It's like it is all symbols. It's like every single part's like name, their age, blah blah, etc. Why they look like that. It's all just like every single one of them is like correlates to like childhood stuff, correlates to like all that stuff. Like even Stephen Brown, right? Like in the series, like why does it not look like the character from like Enter like Fisher Enter? Like why does he not? There's probably a reason, like the twin aspect, like the brother aspect, like the sibling aspect of it, right? So it's like, and also like probably not knowing, like probably also that part being like able to identify with the body, so they know less of the trauma. So it's like all this like build up stuff of reason of why that happens. So it's like symbolism, and you start unpacking. It's like a map. You get the answers of like all the parts, I guess, but then you have to go back and like why and why and why and why, and it's like whoa. If you have parts, you just like whoa. You just have like even like today I was like, oh, that's where the name like came from or something like that. Like even though I watch that thing again and again, or did that thing again and again, but slowly if you start making a connection, that means the brain feels safer to be able to make those connections. So if that makes any sense, I just said. But it is a bold moment when you start unpacking and you're like, because I was just watching this and I literally was like, wait a second, twice in this whole thing. Wait a second. Yeah, this all it's so. Okay, let's move on. That laugh though. Taylor Swift.
Questions that aren't answered readily.
Bro, I like series like that. I watch another series called Marriage Escape, or even like Inception, where it's like it's not exactly answered. Is that the movie? Yeah, Inception, like the dream movie. It's not exactly answered, and I like those type of movies. Maybe because my life is like not 100% a lot of times answers, or maybe that's why it's easier for me to accept those type of things if I don't know things like that. I do like those type of movies and series better. Or not better, really. I enjoy them.
Every aspect of this shit has a duality.
True. Who
And so I
Doctor?
tried.
No tree can center the line. Who's the villain actually in that movie though? I'm just wondering. Also, that is true. It's like this both like, let's defeat evil, but one is like, hey, we're gonna defeat evil when they do commit crimes, and the other one's like, we're gonna defeat evil by doing something before they commit crime. Which I do have a question for that in the series, not actually, but in the series, if one person was like, say, if they're like, if I get the Alma thing and it gets balanced, so if a person was like full intentionally, like say if they're getting judged, that they're gonna be balanced, but if they're like, if I'm getting balanced and I will commit whatever to make it so that will not be balanced, will that person not be balanced? And if that's true, would it be that if that person never died the judgment, that they'll be perfectly fine? I'm just wondering. That's like a deep thought. That's a deep thought. I have absolutely was like, wait a second. This isn't technically. I mean, I guess it's like an inner world. Like, inner world in itself isn't like a DID thing. Like you have DID parts of OCD and have an inner world, and you can have an inner world and not have DID and OCD and stuff. Like I don't know if it's exactly inner world, but it's like the mind creates it. It's to be safe for. It makes any sense. So like all those different places for me, like I remember like the places of like the where the hero doctor is. It is in episode 2 that Abel is just man cave, which I connected with the new Rockstar video right there. But the other one I connected was they did the same angle as episode 2 and episode 4. So in episode 4, the two you see Marc for first time in there, and in episode 2 is the exact same angle as even with the HR person. It's the exact same angle, and I was like, oh. And it's like everything's just like familiar but unfamiliar because it's what the brain does this way. Even he was in a sarcophagus because, Donna told them. So it was like in that, it was in the brain, so it's like it is like a dream where like a dream like it will use things that are like real and it's like symbolism, but like he was like that's like what's happening. So it's like enough things are similar, but they're really different, and you can see that even in the comics too. Really? You're not. You're lying.
That point of view is that his entire reality, the puzzle pieces.
Wheelchairs.
Not reorient you back.
Lucky. Brothers unite. It is so cool that his actual brother did it, Michael. Anything is possible to those who believe.
My actual little brother,
Aww. Who the heck is that? Bounce out, sister, bounce out.
On a technical level.
True. That is true, because I think a lot of times it's bouncing off the other person, because you can have a line like any line, insert line here, but how you will say it, because you do sometimes get cues on like how the other person will like have to say and stuff, but how they would say it, you will reply to them differently. So you have to know how that, because if that other person's like yelling, where you're like, unless that's like part of the thing, it'll be really awkward cross-cutting it. So you have to know exactly what that other character is doing. And sometimes they do that even with separate people, because not everyone can film in the same day, but especially if you're playing this game, then it's like, oh.
Memorize the ball to no one. Sometime. You're right
No, she will not.
Just saying there are two of us, all right?
Yeah, I see.
Do what she says. Help each other uncover whatever it is that we're hiding, apparently.
I'm sorry. No, for example, bingo, hug me, brother. It's in hiding, but no secrets, Good for the consciousness.
Balance your complex character.
Therapy, really.
Steven, let's go.
Cut this out.
And despite the fact that they're almost paternal.
There's like systems you can have that where like some, like where like older brothers or older sisters are related. Like sometimes it is biological, and like in the system in itself, like biologically related, or sometimes just like the feeling of like older brother, older sister, or wife, or husband, or child, blah blah. It's the same, but it's ultimately technically all loving yourselves. That's true. And you can have that, like a lot of times it can be dynamics where you wish you had, or dynamics that you need, like except for dynamics that you see outside in the world, good and bad, both of them,
the whole point of view. I
That's
think it
the
was
truth.
just to do
That
what
is
the idea.
That is the truth. That is the whole point of the ideal city parts is to be able to live in the people world, outside world, and if you're always remembering these really bad things that happen, it's kind of hard to do those things. So that's why there are parts where it's like you have, parts that know everything about everything happened, nothing happened. Maybe in one event only know specific things, only know things memory-wise, but not emotionally, and it's like it's so much layers on layers and layers. So that cool of like you're not like that's the whole point of you. It's like so true. It's too true. It's too
It's about the trauma and of course
Shaking in
there's
my
the
boots. Allegory.
that
Exactly.
that's
That's
actually
how we
his
survive.
superpower.
I'm gonna cry now.
It wasn't your fault.
Okay. No, I'm not crying. It's okay. It's okay. The comics book.
Together as
Harmony
one person,
and unity.
without
Integration.
to be
Powerhouse.
have the ideal.
IRL, folks. Your brain, like every part, even if you have sometimes a lot of hard times working with different parts, it's all ultimately able to work together like a team. And even outside teams, like see, like I just saw Guardian of the Galaxy a few years ago, or Volume 1 and Volume 2, and all of them have like different issues and different stuff, but working together, it's like a powerhouse, That is like the idea, but in the idea, it's like, because they made to be able to do that, ultimately, So it's like here, it's like, because they're more integrated now, not fusion, because integrated means like those type of barriers coming closer together. Fusion means like those parts come 100% like fused with each other. So now it's like a completely different part where those two separate entities isn't entities, not really good. So entity consciousness doesn't exist and now they're one. But here it's like the integration made it because they shared more of those things. And again, so Steven can do most of and Marc can do, Really cool.
A healthy relationship,
Yeah.
working together.
Yes, exactly.
And morphing.
And that is like a goal in every type of DID OSDD, because like there's like different type of goals, but it's like multiplicity, healthy multiplicity, and like fusion, which is like fusion, like I just explained, but like the goal in itself, the first goal is like healthy multiplicity, to work together, because you all have different parts that you can do throughout the day and do other stuff that you're good at. It's like any other team, outside team, where it's like, that person's better doing at this thing and that person doing that thing, so you do that. Obviously, it's not gonna work 100% of the time with, OSDD or DID, because you can't just be like, hey, you can do this, and the brain's gonna be like, no, like something's just not gonna happen. But working together, something's really hard. It's a good thing. Communication is a good thing.
And actually complemented each other.
Well, this is pretty cool, man. This whole thing where it's cool. That is true. Like, an actual good representation is actually good. Now when it's like woke or something, where it's like, dude, we're just gonna have a female character just because. It's like, no, I want a good female character. Please give me a good female character. Like, why you gotta do that? Like, give me a good character, I like when it's like, this is like a character that has like a disability, and disability also autism. It's a good character, and they're not just focusing on that. And that's what I like when Hollywood do that, If anyone wonders, Winnie the Pooh was the bee, Winnie the Pooh, episode 2. But like, this is so cool. Rando Rum Desert, he also did Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker there, also Dune. Which I have not seen Dune. I have seen Rise of Skywalker, of course, that's what first. I was like, oh yeah, I know this person. And Jordan.
Movies,
Oh, that's so cool. That's good.
Movies.
True, that's true. Like, when that was coming out, that's when it's like all the, like, the platform, like, series, streaming stuff changed because of, like, the thing that happened in 2019. The thing that happens was like the cinema and itself like changed because of that, in a good negative way, both of the ways. But it made it so it's like, I guess you could have more options, not really negative or positive, but like different options. So like it is like technically like a 6-hour film. I don't think I ever sat there and watched episode 1. I think I watched like from episode 2 to 6 before, but I don't think I ever watched episode 1 to 6 in like a one sitting. But it is like a whole movie, It's pretty cool.
The unable
Make
associate
me
with
up.
that.
Oh, you
It's
bloody
hard
cupcake.
because you get
No.
the,
The sound is let's go. So that was part 2 to this thing. When is this gonna come out? Don't put your Thank you guys. Thank you Jesus also. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you had fun watching this video commentary of the behind the scenes of the moon. Which I hope the season 2 will be kind of like, if it does go on, I'll be really scared but also good at the same time, because I'm like, I think it was announced that he's gonna be in like What If, like animation or something like that, which is really cool. But you know, it's kind of like, it's like, is it gonna be really good or is it gonna be really bad? And I was just like, but, you know, it's like, it's scary when you're more emotion attached to it. It's like, are they gonna mess this up, or are they gonna be really good? But I hope there is a season 2, and I hope it is. If there is a season 2, that would be good. Okay, hello. I'm recording this part like months, about 3 months later, because it was like really quiet and I couldn't really hear myself. Now Marc, I guess, confident, and then cause that was like about September, now it's like November. So now I'm more, I guess, confident in it, so I could be able to talk more out loud. I guess so. So now, I guess, parts you could say, which. It's, you know, I don't have like an official diagnosis or anything, you know what I'm saying? It's mostly like working with someone that knows about a lot about parts and doing those type of work and stuff, you know. But I guess like for us, it was really weird like looking at Midnight, because I mean the first time for me it's like I've been watching it kind of, and there's like a lot of parts are just like not there. A lot of parts are just like missing, you know what I'm saying? It's just not there. But I do remember being like, okay, I don't have DID, but this is relatable. Like this whole thing, it describes everything that I go through. But because a lot of times I'm describing it as like my OCD, because, you know, like I just didn't know what it was, or like being trans or something. Well, you could be trans and also have DID or OCD, but for me, like I thought that's what it meant. Like you look like someone else on the inside. So, you know, I didn't know, because if you don't know what you don't know, then you don't know. In your brain, especially with parts, tries to rationalize everything. Like even like say Midnight in like episodes, like no, that's episode 4. Like you clearly see Jake's sarcophagus like right there. Everyone's like, you gotta do something about it, but you just go right past it. Like and everyone's like, why did you not? Because you did the idea, and instead of like the denial rationalizes it, so you don't even know you're in denial, and your brain tries to make up everything to make you think that whatever you experience or whatever is just normal. I mean, for me, I didn't think it was normal. I just thought it was just a weird person. It's like only me that goes through. Then I see something similar that I go through every day on screen. It's really bizarre. It's like, cause my exact statement was like, bro, I don't have DID, but this is what I experience on a daily basis. Like, that's weird, you know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff, I guess because it was not traumatic, it was like a lot of information, and my brain was like, boop. So we were like, nope. So I literally don't even, like, because for me, I have like way less, I guess, amnesia than other like systems, but like that part is just like a blank. It's literally like a blank, and like I even forgot that I saw the making of Moonlight first. I saw that first, and then I saw episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. That's why I'm doing like the part 2 of making, because I'm doing the order that I saw. But I didn't even know I saw the making of until like months later when I was watching it with my mom, and then I was like, wait a second, this feels familiar. And I checked my like calendar thing. I was like, you're telling me I saw. You're telling me, like, I kind of remembered watching it, but I didn't think I watched that first. And I was like, oh. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But what I was talking about for us is, I guess, we also, I guess, because I can also relate in the Moonlight with, like, I guess, fictional interjects. Because I did talk about it earlier. I don't know how much I talked about it. I did edit it. Edit it? Is that the word? Edit it? Why is it so hard to say edit it? I did edit that part. There's like interjects in itself, or like part that is, you know, creatively. Like, it's like the multiverse. It's like Marvel, where it's like different version of Spider-Man or something. It's like, it's like this version. Like, you look like, you've been Midnight with Dr. Stephen Grant and Steven. Like, there's like similar there, so there's really differences, and it could go from like the most extreme differences to like the most extreme similarity. And over time you change, or just like people, like you learn, you grow new things because you learn new things. That's how it is. Before me, I was like that too with for me that was like that too with for me that was like that too. It's called the series called My Original Escape. It's like on YouTube and it's free. It's like more like an indie film. Indie, I guess, where it's like a more smaller like not like a Netflix or like big Disney Plus. It's pretty good series. But like I remember watching that at the time, I just like didn't know what was happening. I was like, oh, I look like the main character. It's just, if you don't like think about it, it just doesn't feel, it just, I felt like, I knew it was weird, but I was just like, oh, this is just, I guess, me being weird or acting. That was like my rationality. I was like, oh, I do like acting, so I guess I like acting, even though I only saw it like once, like the original trilogy of that series and that series. Like, I only saw it at the time one time, because he was there like even before My Original Escape. So I only saw the series one time. Like, I'm like, you stop. Because I was like, I saw a lot of series even before then, again and again, like growing up, like movies and stuff, and that never happened. So it's like, but your brain breaks that rationality, and so it was like cool seeing like another portrayal of that, because I guess it is like a controversial thing with interjects, but it's like that's like any other part though. It's like is this all a byproduct of the environment and what happened to you? That's why you have parts of that. Sometimes, like, for us, like, every part that we have, if they are interject, is relatable to our, like, story. Okay, I'm sorry. I cut it out the video, but, like, a big motherfucker just came out, and I was like, ah! I forgot what I was saying. It was like, I guess your brain tries to rationalize everything. That's what I was saying, and I was like, acting, series, Mario Escape. Mario Escape series. I look like the guy, main character. That's normal. You think it's normal because you don't know what's happening. But that also, like, that happened to me like a couple of times. But I mean, even at that time, I did have like other parts. Like, I felt more younger, or I felt more this, but like they didn't really have like a look, which is something that could happen where there's parts and they don't have a look yet. Oh yeah, I think I know what's saying. Like, the parts, like, everyone, it's a byproduct of your environment. So like, oh yeah, like every single internet we have, their sources, that's what it's called, the sources usually reflects our body in some symbolic way, just like dreams and stuff. So it's like the story is like relatable in some way for us. So that's why even like interjects later and being like, wait a second, this like correlate these two series are really similar. What does that mean, right? And it's like this it's just trying to like find like why your brain like latched onto this character, right? And then trying to look at like, okay, what's similar, because there's things that are similar with My Original Escape like character, and there's things that are not similar. And you wonder, like, why is it similar to that? Well, why is it not similar to that? And trying to look, and that makes it so you can see, like, why your brain, like, pick those qualities and not those qualities. Like, why do you need those qualities but not, why do we latch onto that but not that? And, like, and it's, like, a more deep dive. It's a lore deep dive. It's a lore into your history, But for us, we also, which was really weird at that time, because I didn't know it was, I knew it was, like, watching this when I, like, way later. I kind of watched it first time when it came out, but in, like, October, because it's in therapy, I was like, oh, DID, I kind of know about that. It's kind of misunderstood, I know that. Yeah, I know that. And Oscar Isaac, Star Wars, you gotta watch it. But, like, I watched it, it's, like, blank. That's, like, with even My Original Escape and, like, the prequel series. No, the original trilogy. Original series of that is, like, a blank. It's, like, anything that, like, that core memory of that part is core memory is like, it just doesn't exist in my brain anymore. You know? So I just like try so hard to like try to remember it. It's just like not there. I guess it absorbs into that. And I think I was talking about like some parts growing up, they don't look like anyone. So we had a lot of parts like that didn't look like someone. So later they adopted a body. I guess that's what it's called. It's like so if it's like an interject that they adopted, but it's like semi-interjects because they were like, it's not like an official term, but semi-fictional interject, right? Because fictives are like more cultural name. Fictional is interject. It's like two separate, or like the more like medical-ish like terminology. You know what I'm saying? Interject in itself is like a word that is used not just for DID stuff, which most words are like that. I guess in the DID can be not all, but yeah. Because I was watching Midnight, and then the same thing happened. Like with Marvel's Escape, and I was like, that main character. That's weird. I was like, I like that. I was like, this is weird. I was like, this happened to me before. With Marvel's Escape, I was like, this happened to me before. So it's like, oh, it's happening again. So I must be trans. And I was like, that was like even though I'm like, oh, I relate to the character. I'm like, oh, that's literally me. As in, like, I literally go through that all the time. Yeah, it's like the character DID, but like I don't have DID, so it's like I remember I was like, trans. You're trans. It's like because I was talking about that with my therapist at the time. So I was like, I'm trans, even though I didn't have any gender dysphoria. Because parts can have gender dysphoria, like Isaac from March Escape, like he has like a lot of like gender dysphoria. Like Steven, like what he didn't have any gender dysphoria, but like my brain was like trying to make every rational decision possible. So I was like, oh, I must be trans, even though I didn't have any gender dysphoria at that time. And then even my therapist, because I switched to a therapist at that time, I put on my BetterHelp like his name because I was like, I'm in denial. Because I was like so confused, you know, like can you imagine when you're just like, I'm going through everything that character goes through. And I have this disorder, and apparently it's really accurate. And you start like digging like everywhere, like because I started watching other channels. So I was like, yeah, the cinema therapy said it's accurate, but they don't have DID, so I watched other channels and it's sort of be like, wait, that weird thing you also experienced? And you, and that weird thing that you also experienced? And you also experienced? And like everyone, it's like a lot of people have DID experience the weird things I experience all the time. That's just weird. What does that mean, man? Like, and then for a little bit, I was like, well, they talk about amnesia, and I don't, I literally just explained I did, but like, I guess the sheer degree of it is like minus way less. Where like I say the example of like season 1, therapist one, but not really because it's a different version. It's like Spider-Man. It's a different version. So it's like waking up in the house. Like it's like so for me, it'd be like I remember going there. Wait, not in the story. I'm not talking about the story. I'm just like using that as an example. It'd be like for me, if that happened to me, like an IRL, I remember going there. I remember all that stuff. It's just so emotionally detached and doesn't feel like I did it. As in, like say if you're in like a hungrier state of mind, you might eat something that you don't really enjoy, but other time if you're more full, you don't eat that. Like I'm using more basic, but that is kind of like parts where it starts off as like because we all have parts. It's just when you have DID, OSDD, they're segmented because of trauma. Like there's different levels of segmentation, even with different parts. Just in one system, there's different levels. Some parts have more amnesia, like some parts with like part A and part B has more amnesia. Part C doesn't. Part C and part B doesn't really have amnesia. So it's like it goes really deep, you know. For me, it's like I remember all that, but in that state of mind, I just don't feel it. And I think a while ago, for me, like Steve like said to me, like it's like if you, like if our sister would say to me, like if you like someone, but like you really like this, you buy flowers for them. Classic episode. and afterwards, the moment you give them is these that hormones or that like love or whatever just like cuts off, and you're like, okay, I remember everything I just did. I remember why I'm doing this because I like you, but all of a sudden I just don't anymore. Like that emotion just doesn't exist, and like now I'm not gonna, because I don't feel those things, or not gonna do the things that I did in that feeling. So it's like that, but with OCD it is more extreme. Like we all have parts like that. I mean, if you don't have DID OCD, it's just not DID OCD, you know, because they don't have parts. Like if you talk to your dog or your child, or maybe like your voice scores were higher and stuff. Like that's basically how it is. But it's just with DID OCD, those parts can't come together. So they're not cohesive, basically. So they're segmented by different levels of amnesia, different things, depending on, amount of trauma depending on what parts hold what part, because some parts for me it's like really hard to communicate, really not really dissociated, and some parts is easy to transition, and it just depends really. And even like between the other parts, it's it gets real, it gets like, it's like this is why I'm like so glad like God is giving me a gift to like liking cinema, because like I guess that's like to read like quote the denier, right? When I'm like look at it as like a, not characters, but like look at it as like a lore. It's like, okay, this character is like this part, and this part, and this part looks it goes deep, it goes way deep. But let me tell you, that was really weird when I first it was really weird when I first started looking. I was like, okay, first it was like, okay, all of a sudden my dialect changes. I was like, okay, that happens on because I like voice acting, so I always voiced act like different characters in Star Wars, and I always like doing Obi-Wan. But then I was like, all of a sudden I can't do it because it's like muscle memory. There's like different parts. It's like their muscle memory, they remember it. But some players can do certain things in certain parts. I mean, obviously you can't do something that's non-human can't do, and like physically your body, is your limit. You can't do. But some parts can run faster. Some parts can do things like lift things a little bit heavier. Like ultimately, it's like ultimately up to like the body, of course, like our body. But that's why muscle memory wise, even like walking and stuff, is like different. I mean, of course, like it depends on which system. Some parts, like for us, like we have the, I guess, the ability, even if you see how the other direction, to have more of a British dialect or more of a lower voice or a higher voice, because I'm like alto, so it's like thank you Jesus, say not everyone can do it. Some people can have other parts have completely different dialects inside, but they can't do it on the outside because their body can't do it. So it's pretty cool that we can do it in that way, I guess. But it was really weird and be like, okay, this is weird, because I do remember someone, and then being like afterwards being like, hey, why do I want to learn? Because like passive influence, right? Passive influence is like you don't self want to do it, but other part want to do it, so they kind of influence you. So without either on purpose and or not purpose doing it. So I was like, why do I learn British dialect? I mean, why do I want to learn like British slang or something? I was like really confused. I mean, I was so confused. I was like, okay, I guess it's okay. It's fine. I mean, it's not, there's no harm in this. I'm never gonna probably use it. I don't need to know these things. or like I can be like, I guess a little bit later when I learned OSDD, it was really November 29, be like, oh, this falls to have like DID, but with way less amnesia, which I guess that's like even the criteria is like it's this day-to-day amnesia and or past traumatic, like not remembering the past traumatic stuff, like so it's like kind of like the OSDD DID is kind of like it's like a spectrum. It gets a little hazy on which side you are on more. Sometimes like yeah, definitely DID, definitely OCD, but it's like most of the time it's like gray area, I guess. But I mean the treatment itself, it's still the same. It's so I mean different in by person and system, yes, like any other disorder. But and then and then I was like and then I started comparing, like, because I was like still in denial kind of. I was like, yeah, I can't have because I put it literally in my journal at the time. I was like, I'm getting close, because I was like, I have a dissociative disorder, I just don't know what it is, because I remember I discovered DPDR on like October 29, I think it was like around, and I was like, yeah, I experienced that depersonalization disorder. I was like, I experienced it, but nowhere in that says you look like someone else. So I don't have DPDR because it doesn't say you look like someone else, because I look like someone else during those times. So it was like, I was still watching Moon Knight at the time and be like, oh, is it? I guess I was like, yeah, because for me, it was normal. Looking like a main character from a series was a normal thing. I mean, I know it was abnormal, but like for me, it was normal. So I was like, oh yeah, it happened before with like Isaac. So I was like, that's fine. Like, I'm like ridiculous right now, but at that time, for the rationalize things, and then find out about OCD and be like, okay, so it's possible to have parts without having extreme amnesia, even in the Moon Knight, like slowly from episode 1, like complete blackout, to like episode 6, where it's like a way more smooth transition, right? So it's like even that, like working together, you have way less amnesia and stuff, and that could go up sometimes because of like extra trauma and like extra denial or more trauma from the past and like present and stuff. But like the more you get better, the more you work together, even in like the making of Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac said that the healthy even episode 6, like healthy working together, when authors say work together, you know, because when they work together, like you can see episode 60 was funny, like just like Marc, because it's like the integration, like, you know, so it's like that's like the goal of it, to work together as a unit, as a team, as a and harmony, like I just said in Psalm 133 1, you know, harmony, unity. What? Yeah, it was really weird. But then I started being like, okay, Moonlight and March Escape. Why do I look like these main characters? Bro, some pretty tragic stuff happened. You know, so I was like, why do I relate to that? And I started breaking down, and I was like, because like March Escape's like a really small series. Like maybe from like the original trilogy of that series, it might just get maybe like 100,000 people watch it every single episode. Like that's how small it is. So it's like, and then Moon Knight, right? So it's like, okay, and then looking at the series and be like, okay, why? First I got why I related to Moon Knight. And I guess for me, it's not because of my parents saying everything. It's not because of family members. It's not because of parents. It was because of school and stuff. So I guess, like for me, it's like, I guess it's like, for me it's because like a lot of time as a child, when I was living in Japan now, so I'm living in Japan, but I did move to America. But when I first lived in Japan, a lot of teachers just say did not like me at all because I'm mixed race. Because I'm like, my mom's Japanese, my dad's American, so a lot of people are like, especially Japanese people are like furious at me. A lot of times. It's better now, like it's way better now. But they were like furious, and they took out all their anger on me, and I guess because I was watching Artist Game one time, and I got that. It's like, oh, and they're like, hey, we really did, because like Marc was blamed for a death that he didn't do, and that's basically, I was like, oh yeah, like I was like blamed for a death like World War II that we didn't do. Personally, I didn't do that, you know what I'm saying? But they still blamed me, and then later be like, March Escape, and I was like, wait a second, and trying to look, because I was like, maybe this, like the one cemetery I knew was like they're both guys. But then I started charting it, and I was like, that's literally like the identical series, but they both experienced like getting blamed for a death that it's not your fault. It's both, spoilers for March Escape, but both younger sibling, both died tragically. Like Mark's little brother drowned, like, and Isaac's little sister like fall out of a window. Like, what is it's like really tragic. Both of them, you know, their younger sibling passed away, and their parents, opposite, Mark's mom and so like the dad, blamed them, abused them mentally, physically, while drunk. Like there's this thing that's just like a triangle, and it's like, why do I really? It's like, what? It's like, and I was like, sorry, like when I'm rewatching some stuff, like when I just can be like, wait a second, there's also another similarity. Like the fact that the both series talks about what's real and what's not real. Because I had so many moments in 2017, 2018, that's when I was first, as I was there, being like, sometimes I feel like I'm living in two universes, like his universe, like his story and his source memories. Because I just didn't know what was happening, so I was like, even like, I was like, I was like, so confused. I was like, confused, you know? I was like, confused, and I was like, if I told anyone this, they'll think I'm, wait, you know what I'm saying? Without the context of parts. It's like, what? So then I was like, okay, this is normal. No, I didn't think it was normal. I was like, this is weird, but you know, it's fine. And comparing them and be like, okay, yeah, because I guess we're like, even like he in itself already existed in our part stuff. It's just he didn't look like a person or like any human being. I mean, they could be parts that are also not a human being, but he like didn't look like anyone, and like his personality already, like the part of the consciousness already was literally identical. That's why when I was watching this, I remember being like, Steven is literally me. He is literally me, as in like that reminds me of like my younger self in Japan when I was more shy and stuff. So it's like my brain was like, yup. But also the DID stuff, so it's like my brain was trying to rest, and it's like, because even also in March Escape, there's like parts type stuff where Isaac is like a part of the actor of like, you know, Jesse Ridgway. So it's like they're both also talks about, I mean, Moon Knight, it's like officially said it's DID, and like March Escape and stuff, it's just like just like a story thing, but it's still parts. So it's like, well, it's like, why did both of them have parts? Both of them, all these things are just, it's like, my brain is trying to do something, yeah. So that's true. I guess for us two, they're also because, which could happen, where you can have like multiple energy from one source. Because I guess for us, it's like, because the childhood, like 3, so it's like, it just in episode 6, it's like a package deal. They just all came together. Let's just say. So I remember that time being like weird. I was like, because I remember before even knowing about OSDD, be like, yeah, I have, because I was watching like Sandra's side at the time, being like, I relate to that. And I was like, for me, that's like Steven. For me, that's like Marc. That's me. Like, I just didn't know. And I was like, oh, that what I don't understand. I don't understand, bro. And then it'd be like, okay, Marc, because it took me so long to be like, Marc and Jake are not the same people in our system. They were not the same people, not the same party. It's like, for the whole long, it was like, are they not? Are they? Because something they're not. And we're like, no, they were not. They were not the same people. Something you could also have that way, parts energetic or not otherwise, where you thought they're like the same people, but then you realize you're like, oh, wait a second, that's not true. That's not true, baby. That's not true. So yeah, so dialect, languages, even language change is like so weird sometimes when like for me I don't really curse at all, and next thing you know, it's just weird when you can like observe it, because I'm most of the time I'm like here. It's just I'm just more, I guess, pulled back when those things happen. So it's just like things are coming out of my mouth, but I don't realize it. So it's like, remember, it's like me talking, and I don't, it's not part of my vocabulary, isn't bad words. And it's like every word, every sentence, it's like every other word is just a bad word, and I'm just like, huh? I guess it's like those radio like or phone calls when it's like a distant thing and you say something, you hear yourself back or something like that. It's like that, I guess. But yeah, it's like I guess we have all those 3. It comes in a trio. It comes in a package. But it is also so weird when you know, like if you're in a chick, right? You know more things about the character, like based off the character than you know, because you know. Because in the last episode, in the post-credit, you know what happens in the post-credit scene. It's like, who is that? That looks like Oscar girl. I think, but hey, it's even on Marc, so who the heck is that, right? So it's like, well, they don't know. So it'll be cool if season 2 happens and they know. I know what if it's happening. That's pretty cool. I think when I was recording it, it was like a rumor. It was like maybe could happen, but now it's officially. Trailer came out. It's happening. That's pretty cool. And I also my mom did it, get me for my birthday. This is really cool. It's like, that's why I like it, because it is like, entered in itself. It's like Marvel. It's like the Spider-Verse, where it's like, I'm just rewatching it right now. It's like a different version of the character. It can be the most closest thing to Spider-Man ever, like Spider-B Parker and the Spider-Verse, or the most smartest thing ever. Like, which I did say the example, I think, when I don't know if I said that example or not. I mean, but this is really cool. I'm on like chapter 2, and I like when Spectre, like calling it to try to spoiler, Spectre, right? Spectre. I don't want to give it to him, but spoiler is like, he's like, we're working on it. I'm like, yeah, that's a good quote. We're working on it, you know. And the other was like, that sounds like you're a married couple. And I'm like, but it's also cool to look at a series and something be like, okay, what's similar, and what's not similar, you know? Because there's some things that are like, oh, that's literally similar. And sometimes I'm like, oh, why does it even do that? And I'm like rewatching it for like the whatever time I'm watching, I'm like, that. And I started laughing so hard, which was happening in BTS when I was doing the Making a Moon Night at that time. And it would be like, he was like doing this, and I was like, I thought it was just like a thing. I was like, wait a second. It also had the what? There's also other different things. Like in our system, I guess he's more bisexual. Is that the right word? Is that the right term? Why am I asking? Like, I know more bisexual than I know, right? But I guess he's more like, because every time that's why I knew he existed before. Because I was like, every time I like guys, it's really rare. It's rarer, and then like it's rarer than I saw. Like, I'm just joking. But it's really rare. But I'm like, every time I like guys, it's him. I was like, it's that feeling. It's hey, but it's not part of the conscious. Like, I was like, oh, I think he's bisexual, or I guess he first was gay, I guess, but then like splits and stuff and fusion happened. Splits, I don't know if really fusion, but like splits happened, and then like I guess our brain was like really latching on to Oscar. Because like this is really, it's not funny. I guess I'm just like laughing as a coping mechanism. I'm just telling you guys like literally everything, but like it's better to get out there because I don't want to hide. It's like I guess for us like a subsystem, which is it's the two types of subsystem. What's a type of subsystem? Community is like where there's other parts working separate from these parts. Another type of subsystem, which is a part and their part has parts. So it's like say I, right, and then for us like Steve and our system also have parts. Like that happened because I was having at that time like discovering a lot of trauma that I didn't know about, like from my parents and stuff. Like they thought I knew, and I was like, I didn't know that. What? And my brain was freaking out. And a lot of those flashbacks I was getting, like I guess he was getting that, and my brain was like, he can't. No, that doesn't work. Now he can like, not a handle isn't really the right word, but can have like more know those things. But at the time, I guess my brain was like, no, he cannot. He's that part of the conscious had to be happy all the time. He had to be happy all the time. So it's like he split. Like it's like now he has the type of thing. So it's like Inception, because in the Moon Knight, Dr. Stephen and it was Stephen. And it's like and that's also My Dream Escape. That's also a plot story. In My Dream Escape, it's like Inception. So it's like I guess it's like that layer on layer. It's that denial, I guess. But I guess Stephen also has parts, and I guess our brain was like Oscar Isaac, just relatable, right? So it's like this could sometimes even happen with other systems when they can have one character but 50 versions of him. And there's always a reason, and we think it's like a sibling thing, not even with like Marc, Stephen, Jake. Like it's a sibling thing. It's like you look each other, right? You look like each other. So I was like watching other Oscar Isaac like projects. First I was watching Operation Fun. It was like really good. It's like I still rewatch it all the time, and no, I didn't have it to check up that. But the second movie I was watching was Inside Llewyn Davis, right? And I was so in denial at the time. I was like, this is not happening. This is not happening. So I was like, first I was like, it happened before I watched the movie, and then I was like, why is Stephen? Because that was like July, so it's like I discovered OSDD in like November, so I was like, and I'm like discovering a lot of trauma stuff in early like 2023, and in July of that, and before he came to me, like before I watched the movie, I was watching a lot of like the clips, like the music clips, and so I was like, why? I was like at the time I was like, why is Stephen like looking like? Because it's like a shift, right? There's like another layer. So Stephen and I have parts. I'm looking like Luna sometimes. Like it's not like because I'm confused because they have the same face. Because obviously like Stephen, Marc, Jake, like I could tell they're different people, right? So it's like I was like, this is weird. And I was in like denial for like weeks. I was like, yeah, I'm getting the same thing that happened, but like this isn't real. Like this is just like I didn't think it was like was it real. I just like, nah, man, this ain't happening. That's what my reaction was like. This ain't happening, but it does make sense for me now looking at it because one, there's an orange cat in it, and my first cat was an orange cat, and she was like really special to me. You know, things she always slept next to me, like on my bed. She was there when I was born. She passed away when I moved to America, so I know her like 10 years, like, you know, a lot of time. She was always there for me, so it makes sense. And the guitar makes sense because I always play guitar, and that kind of got me back to guitar, which is also cool, and also helped me be able to learn finger picking, which is also really cool because I couldn't really, or it's not like I couldn't, I was just really, I mean, I guess I couldn't because I didn't really try it, but that made me want to learn that, which is really cool. And then, in the fast forward to July, August, right? At the time, I was so just like, because right now I feel like I've experienced way more than I was, but now I guess I'm like more grounded and I understand what's going on, and my brain can handle it. Hence, like, why we can handle more, or the brain is allowing that for him to be able to handle more, I guess. So then at that time, August rolls around, and then this was even more weirder because. I didn't watch it after that a couple times. I do like rewatch it sometimes, just because the songs, you know, I like songs. But after a while, in August of 2023, I was so having flashback, I guess, occasionally, and like a lot of anxiety and stuff. And my brain was like, so I saw this clip. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm laughing, it's not funny, but it's like, well, it makes sense. It's like with, even with Operation Final, I really related to that character, but it's like, that's not it. It's not about just related to the character, some deep level stuff. Even when it's like Llewyn Davis, there's like other deep stuff that was connecting with Marjo Escape. It's like connection with Marjo Escape, and it was like, what? Learning that later, and be like, okay. But my brain was like, looking at Instagram, and then it's episode from Season of Marriage. Season of Marriage. Is that? I haven't even watched that series yet, because I don't even have HBO, so I can't even watch it even if I wanted to, and even if I wanted to, it would be really weird for me, because like, Moon Knight, Marjo, I could rewatch it, because like, you know, because we already watched it when, like, we were there, so it doesn't feel weird, and it's like, so cool, it's a cool thing to laugh at, you know, it's like, not laugh at, but it's funny watching stuff, but it was really weird, because I was like, oh, I relate to that quote from the Season of Marriage. I was like, I didn't know anything about it, and next thing you know, my brain was having a flashback, and my brain was like, dad figure right now. So I was like, maybe I was like, boop, and I was like, what? I was like, wait a second, you're telling me, I feel like that's from a movie, you're telling me that you built, oh, that's from where it's from, you built a time machine at a DeLorean? I was like, you're telling me, my brain was like, you need a dad figure. So I do have a dad, I was like, you need like this, you know, relatable. So I was like, okay, so it's like, there's like a three, right? Even in our system also has, I guess, different parts of Llewyn and Libby. And like this, but yes, dude, in our system, his name isn't Jonathan, because he didn't, it was like, he didn't even come up with a name. I was like, okay, this is weird. I haven't even watched the series, like, at all. But I guess my brain really related to that. And my brain was like, yeah, man, you really relate to that. And then, what was also really weird, I'm like going on tangent, but like, no, this is my channel, our channel, but like, and my brain was like, before I even saw clips of Senior Marriage, I was like, okay, in our system, he's like a professor, and he has like a daughter in our system, and I was watching like, the like poster shot or something like that, and you're like, oh, he's a professor, and I was like, huh? I was like, is our brain just really good at like profiling a character? Because I did not know that. I mean, I didn't watch the interview of Oscar Isaac in the Golden Derby where I talk about Moon Knight and like that, which I watched a little bit before that. I watched around July. Professor, thank you, Professor. I was like, that's weird, because at the time I was like watching a lot of Bible stuff, like Professor with Bible stuff, like colleges, and he kind of absorbed that, like, that vibe. So it was really weird, because that happens, because I was really, like, dissociating from that a lot of times, so it's like, you must even, like, those core memories get stored into those folks, I guess you called it. So it's like, I was like, okay, he's a professor, and I was, like, watching, like, so I wanted to, like, know more about it, right? So, like, told me about it, and be like, he's a professor in the series too? That's weird. I guess he just looks like that. But it's also even weird way later. Like when he played like Marc and Jonathan the same age. like how wondrous. That's like also like Jesse, where like person plays Isaac and Marjo Escape can like look completely different. Like if you compare like Isaac Calder to like Psycho Kid, like he played like the previous character from Isaac is like so different. Like not previously, but previous like long form series. So different, right? But then on the system, like, I guess his name is Levy, because it's not, I guess that's like his, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it in the series, but that's how we say it. That's how we say it. So yeah, but I guess now our system Steve is more also a dad too. He used to not be, you know what I'm saying? I guess this is so weird, but like, I need to talk about it, which I'm doing better right now. Can you imagine, like, the audio is just so messed up? It's like, because I was like rewatching some of it, like that's why we were recording it, because it was September and I was like really shy. I couldn't really talk about it. Now I'm like, be more therapy, be more open, you know what I'm saying? And which is good. It's making me be more present in reality, which is also good. But yeah, it's like, it's like, what? So it's like, I guess Oscar, not all, but even like the name Oscar Isaac, right? Because the character from My Mighty Escape, which I knew before Star Wars. I knew in like 2021 or 2020 or ish or something like that, or 2021. I did have like screenshots of like stuff about Poe Dameron. So I guess I was like, oh, even though at that time I didn't really like the sequels, it's but like the name, right? Isaac. So I guess maybe there's some like relations to that I don't know yet. There's a lot of like a symbolism. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, but like I guess I heard system. I guess. I did the post about, so I may cut this out. Like it's narcissism, Steven. And and I was like, they're both, I guess, in like a relationship status, you know what I'm saying? Relationship goals, as they call it, status, which is adorable, which is cool and adorable. So that's, I guess that's what we got going right now. It's been like since like August. That's like about to be 4 months. In December, it's like they're kind of together even before that, but like officially, you know what I'm saying? Officially on the calendar. But I guess that's like it. So like, thank you for watching. The part 2 that I'm probably gonna post away later. Okay, let's be optimistic. Like, because I'm trying to focus on parts work, which is exhausting, but we need to do it because we need to get better. You know what I'm saying? We have like so much Google sites about, so I might like put some things about our parts pertaining to Midnight, not everyone, and not every detail, of course, because like privacy, right? But I'll probably put like some slides and some stuff on the end credits. But thank you for watching. Like I already said before, this book is pretty cool. The comics also pretty cool. I read that. I can relate to that too. That's pretty cool. I dream stuff. But if you have like any comments, questions about, I guess, anything pertaining to this video, you can comment, and then, you know, if like one thing if I could answer it, I'd be like, hey, blah 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 blah, or make a video about it, blah blah blah. But I guess after this it'll be episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but then you already know these things. But thank you for watching. I already said that so many times. I do this every time. I'm like, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. So bye guys. I do have a bracelet, which I think I bought it somewhere, but I don't know. I think that place might be, it's on Etsy, might be like clothes. I might put it up if they're still running, but it's so adorable. It's so adorable thing, and I don't like. But thank you for watching. I said that already. But subscribe, like, well, thank you for the subscribe and stuff. Thank you Jesus for that. You know what I'm saying? But stay in a roll. Stay cool. You love yourselves. Bye. The revelation I had was like, what? I was like, a lot of times I do this a lot, and I literally just connected that right there. That's really weird. Just bye.